They bring some sunshine, they bring some rain. They bring some sunshine, they bring some rain. They bring some sunshine, they bring some rain.
What's up? You're watching another episode of On the Town with Tanya, and welcome back. It has been a very crazy week. Apparently, a lot of stuff is going on in the news, and I don't even know where to start. I will say this, that I can't help myself, but I have to speak on some things. One is apparently the mayor was going to one of the fallen heroes' funeral and just going to view or whatever they do, and the police association said that they didn't want him there. So I'm confused, and then he shows up and they tell him to leave. So I was confused on which one, you want him there or you want him to leave. I'm very confused about that. But either way, I think it's so unfair that they are blaming the mayor for anything having to do with that. RIP to the family, but I'm just saying, I don't think he has anything to do with that at all. He didn't create an atmosphere. The atmosphere was already created. That's all I'm saying about that. Another thing in the news, now this one may be a little bit old about Kim Kardashian breaking the internet, whatever she did. But all I can say about that is, Kim, pictures are worth 1,000 words, they say, or something like that. Hee-haw, that's all I can say. And what else is going on? So poor Bill Cosby, he's got a slew of women coming forward. The latest was Beverly Johnson, and then another former model said that she was also molested by him. All I'm saying, either way it goes, is that Beverly claimed that she was dragged by the arm and dragged down some stairs. And all I can say is, did you have any bruising? Did you go to the hospital? And how did you remember all this if you were dosed? I'm just confused. I thought a date rape drug makes you forget. I don't know how everybody's all of a sudden remembering 30 years later. I'm just a little confused on that. Not saying either way if it did or didn't happen, just saying that some of the stories are not panning out for me. Especially when a few of the girls have said, yes, I was a model and I wanted him to make me famous. And so I met up with him. Did you really think you were going to go to his house and have coffee and tea and that was it? And he was going to make you famous just because you had coffee with him? I find that just a little odd. I'm just saying. But, both sides court will have to determine if he's innocent and guilty, unlike the media has been just branding him as guilty already. But that's another story. And last but not least, my girl, Miley Cyrus, back in the news again. Now, apparently, the Schwarzeneggers, Maria Shriver, they seem to think that they don't really like her for their son, Patrick, apparently. And apparently they think that she is getting him to the party scene or whatever it is. That's what they say. But I kind of got another kind of shade. I thought that they were trying to say she wasn't good enough for their son. And I just want to say, think of a few things. One thing you could say about Miley Cyrus, people, she's been a celebrity since she was a young kid, okay? She's never messed up her money. You never heard about her going bankrupt, right? All the little stories you hear about her little pig she adopted, about her letting the homeless guy speak at her awards ceremony, about her twerking, getting Robin in trouble. But that's another story. All that stuff, sure, she's done that. Miley has done that. But she can't be that crazy, people. She still has her money in the bank, and you haven't heard any stories about her going cuckoo, okay? So I'm sorry, but I think that she's good enough for anybody's family. And by the way, she earned her money the hard way, okay? She earned her money, and I think she's been a celebrity since she was a child. I mean, I don't see why people would think that she's not good enough for Patrick. I think, Miley, keep doing your thing, girl, and date whoever you want to. So anyway, without further ado, this week I have a very special guest. He performs stand-up comedy all over the tri-state area. He hosts a weekly live stream TV show called 3 Drink Minimum on Monday nights at 8. And he will be premiering a brand new web series in 2015 called Comedians, Why We're So Messed Up. I present to you a rising star in the community, JC Knows Best.
Tanya, thank you so much for that very, very, very good introduction. Let me just get this straight. I am in a city that I've never heard of. I'm in a TV studio with no TV audience. And I'm on a public access channel on a Sunday. Is that right? Did I get it right? Okay,
That's
great.
right.
I just wanted to verify to make sure my dreams are being realized. This is wonderful. If my mother did not have dementia, she would be so proud of me. I guarantee it.
She would be very proud of
She
you.
would be really proud of me, actually. Let me just get right to it. I like to tell people right from the gate, I'm a douchebag. I'm a douchebag. I tell people that right from the gate because I can't play the game. You know the game that people play when you meet someone at like a house party and you try to act like you're a good person, but really you're just a piece of crap like everybody else. I can't do it anymore. I tell you right from the gate, I'm a douchebag, and I don't hide it. You know, I just don't. One of the reasons I think is because I'm poor. Ugh, I'm poor. I don't know if anyone out there is poor. It's the worst. I've made money my entire adult life, and now I'm doing stand-up comedy, and it's just the pits. I'm not accustomed to it. Some people are accustomed to being poor, let's be honest. Like, sometimes you can just look at a person, and you know they're poor because they have a poor face. You ever seen someone with, like, a poor face? You look at them, and you just know that they need to borrow $1. You know what I mean? Just poor. That's not me. I've always made money. In fact, I'm black, but I might as well have white privilege. I might as well. Like, I love white people. I really think they get a bad rap. When I was young, white kids taught me the same children's songs that you all know. You know, like sticks and stones may break my bones, but you're still a Negro. Guys, if you're out there and you're looking at me right now, and I just know that you're probably intimidated because of my skin, and I just want to set some things straight here because I know the political environment is very hot right now. I've got some tips because I usually don't have problems with the cops. I've got some tips for all my brothers out there to ensure that you won't have any issues with the police. Number one, you have to wear like a Bill Cosby sweater like this. Like, this is where I'm wearing this Bryant Gumbel Bill Cosby sweater because this, for some reason, it calms white people down. You know, it just makes them feel at ease. You know what I mean? This hat is not like, this is unacceptable. If you want to ease white people, you have to do something like this. You got to wear a hat that makes them feel at home, you know? Did you see what I did there? I just went from thug killer to non-threatening Negro. Do you see? Hi. And then you put glasses on. You have to put glasses on and look like you can read. If you look like you can read and you have a golf hat and a Bill Cosby Brian Gumbel sweater on, you more than likely you will not get shot. So that's just some tips for my brother out there. Listen, I don't know what to think about this politically correct climate we're in. I don't like it. I have to say, I'm not a fan. You can't say anything anymore. You can't say anything. If you make a sexist joke, then you're a misogynist. If you make a good racist joke, then you're racist. Everything's racist, really, everything. I said the other week, that all Asians look alike to me. That's what I said. I said it and it was honest. I was just being honest. And I got off the stage, and of course, a little white girl comes up to me after the set and says, "Oh my God, you are so racist. What if I said all black people look alike? How would you feel about that?" And I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You know what? You're right, a lot of them do look alike. Let's be honest. White people, let's be honest, a lot of black people do look alike. White people, if you think all black people look alike, you're not racist, you're just observant. That's all. Listen, let me explain how this works. I'm black in America, so I can differentiate between other black people, but don't expect me to be an expert on everyone else's race. Like, don't expect me to know the difference between someone who's from China or Korea. Like, I'm supposed to know the difference. If you ask me, you can all be blindfolded with shoelaces and you can't parallel park. That doesn't make me a racist. I'm just observant. You see how that works? And if we're really being honest, all white guys look alike to me. All you look alike. I'm sorry, like, if you shave, I can kind of tell you apart. But if you grow a beard, I'm lost. You all look like identical twins. That doesn't make me a racist. I'm just not a white male connoisseur. Do you understand how that works? Tanya, I think I'm good.
All right. So, JC, come on over to our chair, and we'd love to interview you. That was very much awesome. We appreciate you. And let's see here. Thank you very much.
Oh, is that a clap?
That's
Thank
a clap.
you.
That's
Nice.
right. That's a low budget clap. You get the low budget clap.
This
That's right.
is really nice, though. I like
Thank you.
this.
Thank
This
you
is
for
good.
joining us.
My mic is all messed up. I hope that's not distracting.
That's all right. As long as you got that leveler up, you're good to go.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Yeah. So, so comedy. How did you get into comedy?
I got into comedy about a year ago. I was in the Dominican Republic, and I was with my family and a couple of friends.
No,
and
wait. You're Dominican, aren't you?
I'm half Dominican.
Oh,
yeah,
half.
I'm half Dominican
Okay.
and half Black American. I don't know what that makes me exactly. Does that?
Makes you.
Your old ass guest just said Negro. Somebody needs to get him in a nursing home quick because he clearly. But I like him a lot.
I love him.
When people
That's my guy.
People get older, they have no filter. They don't care, and I love that. I can't wait to get old. I already don't have a filter.
Exactly.
But I might as well have an excuse as to why I'm so ratchet.
So go ahead. So I'm sorry that I cut
I was
you
in the
off there.
Dominican Republic, and I've been wanting to do stand up, for a while, only because you get to the point where your life is just such crap that you're just like, I gotta laugh.
What were you doing
I
before
gotta
that?
tell jokes. I've got a long history actually in corporate America.
Right.
I worked in finance for a while. I worked for Cablevision. Is this a Cablevision network?
I think it
Oh
is one
boy,
of
if they
theirs.
could see me now on,
If they can see me now.
public access TV, I've made it.
You moving on up.
Really moving on
up.
Yeah, but I got to the point where I was just like, things are getting so bad. I gotta laugh at this, and or I'm just gonna fall apart. And I was in the Dominican Republic, and I said we were at like not even a show, but just some random thing. Someone was. I think we were in like Cabaret, and somebody was playing music, and there was a bunch of people, it was mostly tourists, and I just asked the guy if I could get on stage. And I got on stage, and this is really important. Don't, like, your first time on stage, especially if you're not like in a country that you've been to before, like, don't tell AIDS and Haitian jokes in the same. Like, that's not a good idea. Like, that didn't go well. But yeah, it was a really exhilarating experience, and I said, I'm gonna try this.
You got the stagephobia, I call it.
Stageobia? Yeah,
like,
no, I was a little nervous, but
I
it was
like
just
this.
kind of like, it was just kind of like, who cares? Things,
No, it's like
not-
you fall in love with the stage, like your first time out.
Yeah.
You either like it or you don't.
You know what it is? I like having the freedom to just speak the truth.
That's it.
And I feel like I can do that as a comedian. I really do. Like, I speak it anyway, to be honest, but something about being a comic with a mic, you kind of have like a little extra leeway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
I can
take
talk louder than you.
Well, I take advantage of that because I'm telling you, we're not going to have it for very much longer. People better, appreciate
advantage
freedom
now.
of speech while they have it because
Absolutely.
it's you can't say anything anymore.
Absolutely.
So, I get up on stage and I say whatever the hell I want to say, and it is liberating.
Well, speaking of that, you do say whatever you want to say, and you've been known to be a little bit controversial. I mean, you don't have to go deep into it, but there's sometimes people get on you, blacks get on you, we get on you, women get on you.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. Like, I've watched some of your sets.
This is the thing. I believe if everybody wants to be equal, and this is women, this is gays, blacks, if we're all going to be truly equal, then that means everybody can get it. You know what I mean? Because if you can't get it, if I can't talk about you as a comic, then that means you're special. And you can't be special and equal at the same time. You got to pick one.
Wow.
So, my thing is, obviously I know some of the things I'm saying are reckless. I get it, you know what I mean? But, listen, in the context of comedy, if you're at a comedy show and you come to be uptight, go to work if you want to be politically correct. You can be politically correct Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Don't be politically correct on my time.
Right.
This is my clock. You want to be politically correct, get the hell out of the club.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right.
So yeah, I say whatever I want, and if you get offended, then press fast forward. That's how I feel.
Now, I saw the XXX show, which we can't go in too much into because it was XX, triple X, but I thought that was brilliant because most of the times, a lot of comedians, you can't say exactly what you want to talk about, topics, whether it's sexual, whether it's cursing, whatever.
Does your audience know what the Triple X comedy show was?
No. Why don't you tell them what it was without,
The
filter.
Triple X comedy show is a comedy show that I started along with a fellow friend of mine, Chris Vaccarelli, who's a good buddy. He's a comic, and Noma Comedy Productions. They're an entertainment company in the Westchester area.
That's right.
And I wanted to have a comedy show where literally nothing was off limits. I mean, really, really bad. And, I won't go into all the details.
Very cleverly done.
Would you say it was kind of like porn with words? I don't know if that's a good description. It was kind of like pornography with words. Yeah, we went there, and it got racial, it got sexual.
But you had a good crowd, and I thought that the people that came there
they were
did
great.
like you
they
said.
were
We
awesome.
came to hear that
Yeah,
stuff.
they knew what they expected it right from the beginning, and it was really good. We're actually going to be producing DVDs of that show shortly in the next couple of weeks.
Brilliant.
For a nominal fee. But yeah, it was a really, really great show. I dressed up, in one of my
Your controversial things again.
Yeah, I dressed up as a
Once
priest.
Yes.
I did dress up as a priest, and to me, a priest collar. I used to actually be a ministerial trainee.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
about.
for a non-denominational Christian church.
Now, how did you get into that? Go back, rewind.
Oh man.
Rewind, please, because
I've always, it's so funny.
from ministry to Triple X.
My mom, I talked about her because she has dementia now, and
Okay.
God bless her, I love her. And, my mom had a really tough life, a lot of drugs and, sexual issues and just a really sordid past. And when she had me, she decided to dedicate me to God.
Okay.
Which some of these parents do that. They have like messed up past, so then they want to dedicate their children to God. And I'm pretty sure when she did that, God was like, "You can keep your baby, bitch. You can keep that rusty, crusty ass baby, bitch." No, but she did that, and even though I have no business being anywhere near a pulpit now, like if I go near a pulpit now, I will just burst into flames. But somehow, as crazy as it is, somehow I still managed to end up, studying theology and and becoming a ministerial trainee. And I did leave. I left the church before I got ordained, so I was never officially a pastor of a church. Although I did, I was an assistant pastor, but I never was ordained. And I just knew I do not have the character to be leading people. I'm opinionated, but these preachers really do tip my hat off to them because it's tough. You have an entire congregation that looks up to you as a leader, and your character does need to be, it should be at a certain way. No one's perfect.
Should be a little censored.
Yeah, no one's perfect, but it should be. I was totally left, and I was totally stage left, and I knew that, and I stepped down, because I knew I had no business being there. But it is a part of my past. I was not Catholic at all. And I've studied extensively about, Catholicism, and even though I won't expound upon it now, to me, a priest collar, a clerical collar is just a shirt. For me, it means nothing to me.
Okay.
And that's not to offend anyone. I respect everyone's beliefs. Right. But when I wear the priest collar and I do my act, which I often do, it's just a shirt.
Okay.
And so it shocks people a little bit because they have a certain notion of what a priest is and what it's supposed to be. That has no bearing on me. Right.
And it shouldn't. I mean, you do comedy. That's
it
what
shouldn't.
You do.
And if we're really being honest, I mean, Catholic priests.
Oh God. Remember,
is this a public access?
Remember, it's public access.
Okay.
I'm on at 5:30 on
the
Sundays.
Audience know. Your
Sundays.
viewers know. I don't even have to finish that sentence,
We
do
have
I?
a disclaimer
Y'all
up.
know. Y'all get it.
How you doing? But anyway, tell me about the first time that you ever bombed. Should I clarify? Bomb is when a comedian goes on stage and does a bad job, basically.
I bombed at a house party.
Okay. A house party.
It was a house party, and it was one of these situations. It was when I first started, and somehow they found out that I was a comic, and I tried to tell them because the first thing that people want to know when they find out you're a comic is what?
Make me laugh.
Tell me a joke. Make me laugh.
Yeah,
and I tried to explain to them, I don't have house party jokes. My jokes.
Right. I think I heard
my
this.
jokes are not for a house party or for that's not. But they wanted to, and they were, I'm starting to drink, and we're having a really good time, and they're pressing me, and these people were like, listen, we're dirty, we're filthy, we can take anything,
Oh, God.
And I'm just like, listen, trust me, don't do it. And you had like the man of the house, and they're like, come on, and so this is what they did, this is how they got me. They told, they went over a bit by my comedy idol, Patrice O'Neal. And the bit is called The Special Kind of Soldier.
Okay.
And it has to do with, the climax is, a woman licking a man's asshole. Now, I won't even go into the whole bit, but that's the climax of the bit.
Okay.
It's great. It's really hilarious. And when they said that, I said, okay, these are my type of people. Maybe they can, maybe they could do it. And after 4 hours, I said, fine, I'll go ahead and tell a joke. So I had a rape bit that I was working on at the time, and being new to comedy, I didn't really know what the line was.
Okay.
And I started telling the bit, and I'm in the zone, and I'm telling it, and midway through the bit, I look up, and one of the guests, who was a judge, this is not a joke, who was a judge from the UK, actually, the United Kingdom, and like a high-level judge, she was crying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was bawling, and the man of the house was kind of looking at me like shaking his head. And the woman of the house, she had like a cigarette. I don't know, when I started the joke, she didn't have a cigarette. And then all of a sudden she had a cigarette. It was crazy. But it was like one of those situations where all the music was turned off. It was like zzz, and everybody was just silent looking at me. And I looked at my friend and family. I was like,
can I have those words back?
Should I continue? And my family was like, no, don't continue. And then the man of the house was like, well, you got this far, you might as well finish.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, just
no,
like
he did
that.
not.
And he forced me to finish the joke, and I finished it to no applause. It was crickets. It was silence. The entire house party. Everybody was staring at me. It was the most awkward thing. And I said, well, you know what? This has been fun. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much. I'm going to go and get a cab. And he said, no, we'll drive you home.
Oh, wow.
He would not wait for the cab. I could not be there not one more minute. He said, "We will take your ass home."
Serious?
Yeah, and that
God.
was the first. And that taught me such a valuable lesson.
Did you learn something? Okay,
I learned the line. Where the line is, because there is a line, no matter how dirty. And also, if you are going to be dirty, there's a certain skill set.
Yes.
And it's really, and I'm not saying I'm there.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm there, but there's a certain skill in towing that line.
Yes.
But I do believe in talking about anything, because I think comedy and tragedy.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Comedy and tragedy are so fine.
Yes.
It's like they're right here.
Absolutely.
So human beings, that's the natural reaction, to laugh at some messed up stuff. And if you can't laugh, you'll probably cry. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe in talking about messed up stuff, but there is a line. Yeah.
See, I actually, for my first time, I actually heard a comedian. I had to, you know how they do sometimes if you're hosting the open mic, they'll give you a theme or whatever. So it was whoever goes before you has to throw a topic out at you.
Right.
Okay, now as a survivor of being abused at a very young age by two of my foster brothers, one's dead and one was in jail. So long story short, it's way gone, thousands of years ago. But I would never laugh at rape jokes ever until I met you. And until I met Lily Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah.
I actually cannot believe that it was just so clever. So when you say that there's a way to do it, boy, there's a way to do it. I didn't think it would even be possible. You could have never told me in a million years that I would ever laugh at any kind of rape joke at all. But
Tanya, that's so beautiful.
The way he did it.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, no, and even the XX show, I really enjoyed it. And I'm like a bad critic when you talk about rapes, sexual stuff, women. I don't like all that. I don't like all that stuff. But with you guys, I was like, oh, what else you got? I mean, I was like, wait a minute, this can be done. So
in a very weird way, there's a certain strength and being able to like own,
Yes.
you know, own the things that have happened to you and not let it beat you.
Right.
It's a certain strength to it. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
you know, God bless you for having gone through that.
Yeah.
And look at you, you're so beautiful and you're
Oh,
strong.
thank
You're such
you.
a strong, independent woman. And
Thank you.
and you know, listen, bad things. No one promised us a perfect life. We're not gonna have a perfect life, none of us. And to be able to like not be a victim and stand up after you have been victimized is such a powerful thing. So
Oh, I'm
my
working
hat
on a
goes
bit
off.
on that.
I hope
I'm working
you.
on
I
a bit
hope
on
you
that.
come. Please.
I mean, Lily
I hope
actually
you do. Good for you.
inspired me. You inspired me, and I was like, you really can take anything. And I mean,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. Even my brother dying 5-6 years ago, almost. I was able to turn that into a bit, which I was
Good for
like,
you.
am I actually making a joke
Good for
into this?
you.
So you're right. Anything can be made fun of, and I think with all the tension in the world, hey, you got to be able to turn anything around at
Listen,
any
you
given
gotta
moment.
laugh.
Yeah, you do.
gotta laugh, because this world, listen, and especially in America, this ship is.
Yes.
This ship is going
Sing
down.
it, it's
I
going
hate
down
I
like
hate
a
to,
timber.
I hate
You gotta
to
move the
concern
way
your
you
viewers,
dance.
but all you have to do is you know, have your eyes
better have
just a
some faith
little bit
somewhere.
open, because this is you know we're not you
Have
know
faith.
so. I consider myself like. Do you remember the movie Titanic?
Yes.
Remember when the ship was going down and the guys they
Hanging on the
gracefully
thing?
played the violin.
Oh, that, yes.
They played the violin.
Yes.
You know, even though the ship was going down.
Yes.
That's what I consider. I
Yes.
consider myself like I'm going to make jokes.
Yes.
You know, while this ship goes down.
While you have free
that's what
speech.
I'm going to do.
While you got free
while we
speech.
still have, we can still think for ourselves
Yes.
and you know.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is the funnest part about doing comedy?
Funnest part about doing comedy, for me, sometimes watching people's faces, the horror, the shock and horror. See, for people, you know, this studio, because there's no studio audience here, the
Right.
silence, this is right up my alley. Because anybody knows me knows that sometimes you go to some of my shows and, you know, it's a little bit of an awkward silence. And that's fine with me. I don't mind. You know, I don't care. I could care less. So, you know, people are horrified, but I'm having a great time on stage. It just, like, I'm laughing. It's like, if you're not laughing, I'm laughing.
Right.
That's kind of what it is. That's the funnest part.
And what about the worst?
Uh,
Least fun. How about that?
You know, as much public speaking as I've had in corporate America, even as a pastor's assistant and giving sermons, I still have terrible stage fright. When
Me
people
too.
don't know. Yeah, it's really, isn't it the worst?
But you cannot tell yours
yeah,
at all.
Yeah, that's what
At
people say,
all.
but no,
No,
I do.
at
and
all.
that's, yeah, so before I kind of,
But that's big that did you get up every time and do it? Because there's plenty of times I want to just quit. I've only been doing it 6-7 months now.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of times I was like, I'm not going to do it. But something about being on stage lights my
Yeah.
inside world up, and I feel
Yeah.
like I belong here. And when I'm around other comics, it's the only time I feel like I belong somewhere.
Yeah, you feel
So,
alive, don't
Yeah,
you?
it's kind of maybe because I used to model and I got used to that kind of
Yeah.
life, and then I stopped, and this is the first time since then that I've been on a stage besides motivational speaking. But that's
Yeah.
different.
Well, that's why I tell you that, you know, that's why that web series is so important.
Yes.
Because comedians are really special. They really are.
Okay.
You know?
So our time, I cannot believe our time is going that quick. Last thing,
Sure.
before I quickly wrap up what you're doing again,
Sure.
who's your favorite comedian? Or was?
My favorite comedian of all time is oof, man, that's a tough one. It has to go between Richard Pryor
Oh,
and
yes.
Patrice O'Neill.
Okay.
God, and
Good
Chris
stuff.
Rock. Those
yeah.
three.
He's brilliant.
Chris Rock, Patrice O'Neill. You
He's
know,
brilliant.
and but Richard Pryor is like the father. You know.
That guy got away with anything, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
He really did.
But he
for
was
me.
so honest and authentic.
Exactly.
That's what it was. It was
exactly.
real.
Well,
You know what I mean?
real with the little crack, but yeah, that was real. But I thank you so much for being our guest, and I'll just sum up as we get ready to go, because we have to go. Unfortunately, I cannot believe it's been that long already.
Has
but,
it been 30 minutes? We've been
Yes,
here 30
it's
minutes?
been 30 minutes. I know.
That's
Once you
crazy.
get it rolling, it's over. But so if you want to see JC, you know he's performing all over the tri-state area. Anything new coming up very soon, this week, next week?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you go to my website,
Okay, that's right.
www.jcknowsbest.com, it
Okay.
just always shows what I'm doing for the week in terms of stand-up. And, you know, just the biggest I'm on TV Monday night.
That's right, Monday nights,
Yeah.
3 drink minimum.
Yeah, Zen
That's
Live
right.
TV, zenlive.tv. And the biggest thing is 2015, this new web series, Comedians, Why We're Messed Up. It's going to be big.
I think that's going to be very big, and we will be looking out for it. We thank you so much for coming through. And that's our show, people. See you next week.
bring